Welcome to episode 3 of the GAC Alumni Spotlight brought to you by GEICO. For this month's series, we visit with a former Golden Sun volleyball player in Alyssa Kool. Alyssa, thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
When I say former volleyball player at Arkansas Tech, what's the first thing that you think of on your time in Russellville?
Oh, I loved my time in Russellville. It was probably the best 4 years of my life so far. Just kicking off another 4, they're a little bit more stressful than it was back then, even playing volleyball. But, just leaving a legacy was huge. Having that dynasty kind of mentality of having a great team to come into and a great team to leave.
How did you come to choosing Arkansas Tech? And I guess were there any other GAC schools that were in contention for your services?
Coach Meyer recruited me really early on my junior year, so I actually got contacted by her when I was a junior. She came and watched me play a bunch. I came out to the school, had an offer, and I really wasn't sure about Tech before I got there. I'd never heard of them. And then I got to Arkansas Tech on campus, and I fell in love my first day. Got to meet a few faculty members that really swayed me in the direction of coming to Tech, as well as seeing the team, meeting the girls, and getting it just to talk to Coach Meyer a lot.
So upon getting there, just take us through how you started your career there, and when you started to contribute to the Golden Suns.
I would say my contribution was a lot different than most people's. I had quite a few injuries. My first semester on campus, I hurt my wrist about 2 weeks in. And being a setter, that's pretty much what I do. So I had wrist problems from like 2 weeks in till I waited to get surgery till after my sophomore year of college. So just kind of played a more vocal role for my teammates, try to be a leader even as a younger girl. And then moving into my junior year, I got my last concussion, got disqualified from playing for my last year and a half. But really just getting to work with those girls, especially my senior year. Obviously, we had an incredible season last year, going 35-1. But getting to work with those girls was incredible, and take more of the coaching side out of it, and approach the game more as a love for the game rather than something that I'm showing up to actually get my body for every day again. So that was kind of nice to not have the bruises anymore.
And with Coach Meyer, having obviously been a setter back in her playing days, how much did you just glean off of her information that maybe you could then impart on your teammates that maybe just was a little different voice and someone they could maybe better relate to as someone who was more of obviously a teammate than just Coach Meyer's coach?
I got to teach my younger girls, like Amanda and I worked on footwork for a long time, which is something that she had not had experience with and something that I knew was huge for Coach Meyer. So getting to work with the footwork side of it and even just like run the girls through wall work drills while Coach B was doing something else was nice. Kind of took more of the leadership role and vocal role rather than the athlete side, but I still got to help those girls as much as I could.
And as this obviously being a alumni feature here, obviously then leads into your post career days. I know you're long into your life outside of Tech, but it's already been an exciting one with your field of study. Just let everybody know how you spent this spring and this summer and what you're now up to there in Texas.
So I graduated in May from Tech, and I pretty much immediately moved down to College Station, Texas. GEICO Aggies. I'm currently an Aggie student in the College of Veterinary Medicine. I'm working from my first semester of 4 years to become a doctor of veterinary medicine.
You do realize that Texas A&M just played Arkansas, and probably a lot of people here are fans of them in addition to their GAC school. So perhaps rot a few people there with the Gig'em chant. But
I still am an Arkansas fan unless we're playing A&M. So
I can understand that. And then also as part of your, maybe not part of your studies, but certainly part of your passion. You got to go to Thailand, I guess, for a period of time. How'd you come into that experience, and it's just share as many of the stories you got from that time.
Absolutely. Actually, the lady that I went to Thailand for, her name's Alexa Kool, and she was just on my campus 2 days ago, I think. So I got to see her again, which is really cool. But I went for 2 weeks in Chiang Mai. I actually learned about it from one of my old teammates, Mariah King. and she had just like shared it, and I was like, that's really cool. And I looked into it. It was a veterinary program, and I got to go work with elephants for a week, and I got to work with shelter dogs and cats for a week. It was one of the most incredible experiences in my life. Just they're absolutely like majestical creatures, and I think like the background on my phone is still me with an elephant, just because it's so cool. Like you never get to see that kind of thing.
Right. It's not usually something that you're going to imagine you're encountering. Certainly, maybe down the road, but just so fresh into your veterinary career to get that opportunity. Did you fully grasp that when you got over there? Like, how am I already going over to Thailand and getting to work with elephants? Everybody obviously thinks of vets as just working with your pets, or maybe trained animals. If you're with working with horses or whatnot. But just how did you understand it in the moment? Just what it meant to go to Thailand?
I think it's hard to grasp while you're over there. I mean, like the scenery is beautiful. There's just so much to take in. It's a complete culture shock while you're over there. So just getting to see the elephants, and then you have mahouts, which are the people that work with the elephants directly. That was really cool because they can just, they're basically an elephant whisperer. Like they say like move and they go get food, or they say come and they go to the water. So that's really cool, and seeing the elephant human bond, which is something that I've never personally thought about before. So getting to see them, and then we got to spend a whole day with one elephant. So I spent the day with Saw. And she, in the beginning of the day, was really wary of us, didn't want to come close. And then by the end of the day, 5 o'clock at night, she would just come over and kind of stand a foot or two from us while we're sitting down, just very calm with us. And it's really cool to see that they are really quick to trust, even after they've been abused in their previous life.
Is there any hope to get to go back as any kind of future follow-up, or was this a one-time opportunity?
Absolutely, I would love to go back. I think in the future, way in the future, when I want to retire, I hopefully can do one world vet and just work for different countries for a few months at a time, get to travel and work in veterinary medicine. But I definitely want to go to Thailand again. They have a program where I can go back with the same people, and they pay for everything, which would be super nice because I'm, a veterinary student still, so I'm still in college. And they just pay for everything but your flight, and you go over there and work with the kids that are in undergrad still.
Well, Alyssa, who will join us here as part of the GAC Alumni Spotlight, we want to ask you some rapid-fire questions back on your time at Tech, so hopefully you've got answers at the ready. No pun intended for the team there in Arkadelphia. But let's go with thing you're most likely to do on the team bus. What was your go-to way to pass the time there?
Sleep.
Were teammates accommodating, or or they know not to bother you?
Oh no, they were pretty good. We had very good systems of crawling over people to not wake them up.
Road trip, when you saw it was on the schedule, you just hated having to go to for whatever the reason is, length, opponent, whichever one. Just open-ended question there.
Probably Northwestern, just because it was so far. Just driving, and it feels like it takes forever. Second worst would be Harding, but that's just because the games were always fun and kind of intense.
All right, and then on a similar vein, the whatever we call the nightmarish story from the road, whether you got into a hotel and you had to be moved out because of a fire alarm at 1 a.m, or a bus breaks down somewhere, or whatever could happen from these various adventures.
My freshman year, we had rooms that were for the deaf in a hotel, and so the outside you can push a button that flares light and kind of screams at you. So my teammates had a really fun time with that one.
Similar question there. Roommates that you least only paired up again if you ever win a shared room situation.
Who I would want to be with?
Least. We'll start least, and then we'll go most.
Oh, I don't know. I had pretty good teammates. I was the one that was probably the one that was like, I'm going to sleep on the couch, give me my space.
And then how about the easiest person to have as a roommate, whether it was just, stylings that were easy to know, or they knew you respect your space, or whatever made them the best roommate on a road trip.
Yeah, senior year was probably Maddie Nagel and Marissa Drevenak. Maddie and I were roommates my freshman year, so that was pretty easy, and we were good friends by the end of it. And then Marissa and I were super close friends, had very similar study schedules, would get back from the game and just kind of sit there and take our own time to study, too. So they were probably my favorite, too.
Now, I know just in seeing how things would work out at a conference tournament level, if you weren't playing, it seemed like there would always be laptops open or books open, cracked to get studies in before matches. So, oddest place you were doing homework to catch up or to stay ahead?
Oh, constantly. So like bus, my favorite thing to do was sleep, but also study on the way back. Oh man, I studied everywhere: bleachers, in the pregame locker room, hotels. I studied pretty much constantly in undergrad.
So last couple of questions. Toughest opponent on an individual side that when you were going through the scouting reports there that you knew that was going to be a long afternoon or evening for you in the Golden Suns?
I would say anyone we played an NCAA tournament. It's just a completely different venue. It's a completely different, state that we don't really see very often, and opponents that we always face that were very, very tough coming on in.
And then the last one, as a setter, you get to set one more ball for Arkansas Tech across your 4 years. Who's the one person you're most confident that's going to deliver a kill on one of your set pieces?
Oh, I'd have to say probably Tabitha Spray or Hunter Eschner. Just Hunter with the history that we'd had. We played together for 3 years, and Tabitha is just a powerhouse.
Well, Alyssa Kool, we appreciate you taking time here to relive your time at Tech and let us know what you're up to down there at Texas A&M, and obviously spending your time there in Thailand. We appreciate you joining us, and thanks for the time.
Awesome. Thank you.